Welcome back to the Mental Breakdown. I'm your host, Joey Velez. Today I'll be joined by Teohn Conner, aka the basketball trainer. So he is a player development coach out of the Bay Area. Shout out my hometown. So he works with a lot of different basketball athletes from a variety of ages, all the high school, college, all the way to professional. And he himself even played at the collegiate and professional stage. He's also the president of his own foundation called Eat Sports Foundation, where they serve underserved communities by providing them athletic programs, mentorship, financial and everyday resources to not only maximize their opportunity in the athletic realm, but also in everyday life. So what we're going to discuss is not just how basketball has impacted his life and lessons learned along the way, but also how he works with athletes today and what he does in terms of developing their mindset. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe when the show is over. But other than that, sit back and enjoy.
What up, brother?
My man, there he is.
How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm great, bro. I can't complain.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day. I'm glad we finally got to link up. I know it's
Oh
been. I
yeah,
know we've been talking about like doing like workshops together. And then I obviously moved out of town, but like we're here, man. We're finally here.
absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Happy belated birthday.
Yeah, all good, man. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's a good start to the year, huh?
Oh yeah, it's always every time New Year come, I know it's my birthday. I know it's gonna start off the right way. So I'm definitely blessed to have my birthday in January. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. That's awesome, man. And I did see an update on Instagram. You got a new position, is that right?
Yeah, so I've been helping this program for a while,
Okay.
but they officially named me the guy to do, to run their training and their development stuff. So yeah.
Cool. That's
Pretty
awesome, man. Is that
excited.
over at the NorCal courts, right? Like in Martinez?
No, so NorCal Courts and NorCal Prep are two different things. NorCal Prep is
Oh, okay.
it's affiliated with Cornerstone Christian High School.
Okay.
So it's an extension of that. So they're in Antioch. Yeah.
Okay. Heck
Yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah.
That's awesome. Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. It is, man. I gotta Kobe year, man. Gotta turn it
Yeah.
up, man.
Yeah. Heck yeah. There you go. Well,
So
like I
yeah.
appreciate you hopping on. You know, I've been following you for quite some time now. I know, not only just I think we've worked a lot with the same high school athletes too,
Yeah.
so I wanted to get you on here and get your perspective on, the mental side of what you do and what they do, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so and I know you put a lot of good stuff on Instagram too, so I'm excited to get a pick your brain a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah, no, I try to push the culture forward, man, in the right way. There's a
Yeah.
lot of junk on social media right now, but I try to put out the right stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Heck yeah. Before we get going, yeah, something I always ask everybody. But yeah, what's something that you're grateful for? What's something that you appreciate?
I mean, honestly, I'm grateful that I get to do what I love. I'm around the game. I've been doing it since 10 years old, and now I'm 40, 44. I'm aging myself, but I get to do what I love. I wake up with basketball and helping
Yeah.
athletes get, reach their potential. So I'm definitely grateful that I can be able to say, I don't have a job, I have a passion,
Yeah.
so I'm grateful that, I get to do this every day, man. So that's what I'm grateful for.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. I think we have that in common. It's like just making an impact on
Yeah.
people, whatever way we can, and you do it through the game of basketball. I think that's awesome, man.
Yes, sir.
So speaking of like starting at 10 years old, when I first reached out to you, I wanted to get you on the podcast, and we were going to do this. I was looking at what your titles were, how can I introduce you, because I know you got a lot of stuff going on, and I
Right.
saw the story on your LinkedIn page about your grandma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Oh,
in that first camp or program you wanted to attend, but you couldn't.
yeah.
And then
Yeah.
she grinded and got some money and made sure you went there. Uh,
Yeah.
so what? Like, I want to know more about that. So, like, what did you learn from your grandma? Because it sounds like she was probably like an integral part of your life.
I mean, my grandmother was probably the most influential person as I was a youth and as I started becoming a man. I've watched her work tirelessly from like 6 a.m. to like 5 p.m.
Mm,
And she was doing manual labor. She wasn't like at a desk job, and there's nothing wrong with a desk job, but manual labor and
Yeah.
not complain one bit, like just hands on, grimy, dirty, just getting it done. And as I got older, I understood like she was a hard worker. She had great work ethic. And people always comment on my work ethic, and I never knew where I got it from. I just felt like I'm just a worker. But over the years, I thought about it. It came from her. My work ethic came
Yeah.
from her, and just to get it done. And that's all she did day in and day out. Just watch her get it done. No complaints. Come home, cook whatever she has to do, and like don't say a word about it. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. And one time I went to her job because I didn't know what she do.
Yeah.
She's like, dude. So I go. She worked in a lumber yard stacking lumber, bro. Like over there putting over. I'm like, wait a
Dang.
minute. What?
Yeah.
This
You had
ain't
no
the
idea.
40s or 50s, right? This is you can do something else. And she's like, no, I love this. I'm doing it. I'm like, this is crazy.
Wow.
So me seeing her firsthand do that, I mean, it put something in my mind, like, bro, I can just work, just work. So that's what I got from her, her work ethic. And then I say secondarily is like her love, like for people. Like she loved people. I mean, she cooked for the neighborhood. I mean, anybody that needs something, she did that. And to that
Yeah.
point where the first camp basketball program that came to Fairfield, Louisiana, we was broke. We couldn't afford it, right?
Yeah.
Like I said in my video, for 2 weeks I like cried, like because I wanted to play basketball, and it was the first opportunity that I could have to play basketball, and we didn't have it. But I
Yeah.
promise you, man, after that 2 weeks, man, she grinded and she got the money for me, bro. And it was like it just instills so much like pride and honor, and that she would do that for me. You know what I mean? So I started eat because of something like that. I know a lot of kids today feel the same way. We don't have enough money to play sports, and right now a lot of kids are being priced out of sports, whether that's training, whether
Yeah.
that's camp, whatever that is, they're being priced out.
Yeah.
So that was an influential part of me starting to eat, so kids can have a place to go or some resources that they can tap into and fulfill their dream like I was doing when I was a kid, because
Yeah.
all I wanted to do is play basketball. And that's what
Yeah.
kids want to play a sport, but they don't have the means. So that's what I got from my grandmother, to spread this joy and love and this work ethic, man. That's what I got from her.
Yeah, and from your videos, from talking to you even just right now, like I could tell, like you absolutely enjoy what you do, right? Like it comes off like in the way you speak. And I think something interesting you said about that story too is like your grandma lifted lumber, like she enjoyed it. Like it probably wasn't a job to her, like maybe it wasn't the same passion as it was for you in basketball, but like maybe it was. I don't know, but like you couldn't tell the difference, you
No,
know?
I could not,
Yeah.
absolutely. That's spot on.
I like that. Like my growing up, my not the same, but like there was a stretch when I was in high school where my mom got laid off, I think twice in the span of like 3 months.
Yeah.
Same thing. Not once did she complain. It was like, all right, what's next?
No,
And
right,
like,
right, right, right.
and then so you growing up seeing that kind of mentality, like that has a huge effect on you, like down the road.
No, I did. And that's what I try to instill in my athletes. Like, yes, you can have this excuse. There's always can be an excuse, man. Just get it done. I know you did this, that happened. Just get it done. That's because that's where I come from. Like, I could make excuses, but what would it help if I made an
Yeah,
excuse? So I'm
yeah.
a no excuse type person, man. So I'm straight up with it. So
I like that, and I'm sure we're gonna get to that too, and like how that comes out like in your training.
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So lessons learned from grandma. What has the game of basketball taught you as a player, as a coach? Because you played. What was the highest level you went to? It was college, right?
Professional.
Professionally. Where'd you play professionally?
Yeah, so I was in the ABA,
Okay, that's
did
right.
stint in China.
Oh heck yeah.
So it was a small, it wasn't a big stint, but it was professional. So the highs I made was professional.
Yeah.
I would say the biggest thing I learned is to have a plan. I mean,
Mm,
preparation will help you achieve a lot of things that you want to do. Because you got to have time management. One, two, you got to have the mindset that you can do this. And a lot of times we have the body, we have the physique, but we don't have the mindset to do it. So just the mental part of it, and just taking care of your body. It's it's amazing how basketball or any sport can break down your body. But if you take care of it, right, you only get one. Great things
Yeah.
happen to it. So for me, it grew me up. It made me mature because there's a lot of things that basketball make you do. You have to have a schedule. You have to eat right. You have to show up on time.
Yeah.
You got to give your all. You know you got to accept coaching. You have to put your ego aside for a team, right? You have to do all these things, and that grew me up because there's a lot of
Yeah.
time where I wanted to be a kid and I could not be a kid. Like this is like basketball is a business.
Yeah.
And if you look at it like, yeah, it is fun, right, as a kid, but as you get older, it's a business. So once I
Yeah.
learned it was a business, now it put me in the right mindset to like move accordingly. So, man, it just grew me up, man. It accelerated the process. So, and
Yeah.
it helped. Now it's helped me with my job because now I can do all of those things. Because basketball, like I said, it mimics life. So
Yeah.
everything that I'm doing in basketball, I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
So
What do you think led to that mindset shift from like basketball's fun to now basketball like more of a business? Like
so
what
my
was it? What was
first
that
year,
switch like for you?
that first year in junior college, I was in Midland, Texas.
Okay.
I show up on campus and there's like 23 and 24-year-olds trying to play and they have kids. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? And it's like, I got to get to the next level because I got to feed my family. I'm like, what? We just trying to hoop. Like, I
Yeah.
get it, but we're just trying to hoop. But for them, it wasn't just hoop. This is a way for me to take care of my family. I'm like, what? But you can see the intensity, the passion that they play with because
Yeah.
this is my last stop,
Yeah.
and this is how I can make it. So my first year in junior college made me realize that it can be fun, it can be a game, right? But at the same time, people are trying to really eat out here, and I didn't understand it until that year. And I'm like, oh wow, and that's when I really got. I ain't gonna say I really got serious, but I really started working out more.
Yeah.
Like stop being distracted. Like I really started getting in the gym. After that year, I was like, whoa, this is serious. And my first year in JC for sure.
So you feel like your game changed like a
Oh
lot
yeah.
once you made that shift.
Yeah, because I thought I used to work out a lot, especially in high school, because I was one of the better players. And I didn't work out as much as I should after I learned from Jay. I was like, wait a minute, I wasn't even working. That's nothing.
Yeah.
But that summer, I mean, that first year, that summer, after my first year, I lived in the gym. Like I could not get away from the gym. I just stayed in the gym because
Yeah.
I understood what the goal was. Like, nah, bro, you can do some great things with this. Like, it can take
Yeah.
you a lot of places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And I'm sure you've probably seen it where people make the other decision, right? Where it's like they see someone who's really working hard and they thought they were working hard, like, oh, that's actually what it takes. That's too much for me.
no, it is. In that first year, man, a lot of people got weeded out because one, like I said, you had to show up on time, and when you show up, you had to produce. So
Yeah.
I remember my first practice, guys came in late. They came in late, 5 minutes late. Sent them home. I was like, what? Like, what is good? Like, it was that serious. Like, guys got sent home, and like
Yeah.
you just said, on the flip side, a lot of people can't take that. Well, they can't
Yeah.
take the hard coaching. They can't take the intensity of the practices. Like, oh, I thought I was good in high school, but this is another level. And I see a lot of kids. I mean, a lot of my peers get like just outworked
Yeah.
because they didn't know what it took and they didn't have it in them. Like you can't just have it. Like you got to build it up, and they didn't have it. And yeah, and like I said, luckily because of my grandmother, I was okay with make it work,
Yeah.
make it work. You know what I mean? So
You had that work ethic instilled early. So like once you saw you had to do more, you're like, okay, let's go do it.
yeah, because I didn't know. Like there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know about basketball. I just knew just work hard, just work hard, just work hard, just work hard. But the other side was work smart, work consistently, do
Yeah.
all those other things. Like I had a piece of it, and then as I went to JC, I learned all those other pieces, which helped me get to the same area. So, man, it's so crazy. Basketball is crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It
And
takes everything. Takes everything.
yeah, because it's one of those sports where it's like even with college, the roster itself is so thin, Even with like NBA players, people will make fun of like the 15th man on the team, like, oh, that guy sucks. Well, it's like you put him anywhere else, like he's
He's gonna
crushing
kill. Yeah, he's
everybody.
gonna kill you. He's gonna kill you.
Uh,
Right.
Video of like, Brian Scalabrine back in the day. Everybody would make
Right.
fun of him, right? But then
Right.
he's dropping 40 on everybody everywhere else. So
Right.
it's like,
Average Joes, yeah, who think they can play. Yeah, no, it's definitely different levels. You'll learn that as you move up.
yeah,
And that's what I preach to my kids. I'm like, yeah, you're the best at this school or you're the best in this city. Dude, you're competing against the country, not competing against your city in terms of scholarships and things of that
yeah,
nature. You know what I mean? You're not just
yeah,
competing with your friend over here. Like, that's cool that you're beating them, but the bigger picture is there's 10,000 other kids your age doing the same thing you're doing. So,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. 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 It's a different ball game when you get to that level and like you look to your left, you look to your right, and like they're just good.
And everybody's good. Like, that was
Yeah.
humbling for me because high school kids, and I was one of them, have this sense of entitlement and ego and like, man, I was averaging 20 in high school, bro. I'm about to go kill it in college. Everybody on that team averages 20 or more, and they can get buckets or whatever the case. I'm like,
Yeah.
every day. And when I got to St. Mary's, that was hard because everybody had the same mindset and ability that I did. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute. So practices were so hard because you could not relax. You
Yeah.
couldn't, because as soon as you relax, your spot is gone. Like,
Yeah.
for me, like I said, I learned through JUCO that you got to work, just work. And then when I got to St. Mary's, like, bro, work is cool. He working too. What you
Yeah.
go do?
Yeah.
What's your separator? You know what I mean? So
Yeah. What did anything change for you going from JUCO to D1? Because St. Mary's was D1 at that time, yeah?
yes, St.
Okay.
Mary's D1.
Yeah, did anything change in terms of like I know you had the work ethic and preparation, right? But like did anything change in terms of like what you did from a mental standpoint?
Yeah, I started doing smarter things. Like, I was more of a being a gym 2 hours, 3 hours. I was more of reps type thing instead of like quality. So I changed the quality of my work. Like, I got
Mm.
real specific. Like, what would I be doing in a game? I'm just going
Yeah.
to rep that out, right? And as in terms of in the weight room, like, what's going to help me be stronger on the court, not just look the part, right? There's a lot of athletes that look the part, but they're not functional. So I
Yeah.
got real specific because I figured I needed an edge, and because what I was doing, it made me even, right? Like, from JUCO to St. Mary's, I was even. But what's going to get me over? Like, I got to be great at something, right?
Yeah.
So I just got more specific. I mean, I couldn't just be just working hard. That's cool because everybody does it. I
Yeah.
had to work smarter, and that's what the biggest thing I went to the transition from JC to D1 was. I just got to work smarter. Like, I just can't be out there because there's trainings. I mean, the practices are long, travel is wear and tear. So if you just out there just maxing out, like, you're gonna tell your
Yeah.
body to get injured. And I didn't understand that until I got to St. Mary's. Like, you got to work smarter, just work
Okay.
smarter. You know?
Yeah, making the shift to more quality reps in opposed to just let me just
Yeah,
go up there
it's
and just shoot a
not
thousand
just
shots.
quantity. Yeah, quantity.
Yeah,
Quantity is cool, like the 1,000 shot rule, but really, that all it teaches is you standing in one spot and shooting. And I don't know how often do I stand in one spot and shoot. Like, I'm on a move, I'm
yeah,
slashing, all these different things. Anyway, but just be more specific and be smart about my training.
yeah. Has anything? So yeah, that's a lot from your like playing experience. Are there any like lessons you learned once you started getting into like coaching and training? Like, what was that transition like for you going from a player to going into the coaching world?
So going from a player to a coach, I mean, it was easy, and I say easy because the players remind me of myself.
Hmm.
One, I love working with guys and young ladies who are on the cusp of being great because that was me. They
Yeah,
remind me of myself, so I know how to talk to them. That was the easy part. The hard part is keeping them motivated and inspired to like push through the adversity. Because once these on the cusp players hit a wall, it's hard to make them see the way around it or see the way through. It's like, oh, this wall is here. Like, yeah. Do you know how great players get through that? And coaching them through that that's probably the hardest piece, to have them realize
Mm.
that you're not the only one that been through this, not the only one that's going to go through this. Like, other people have met this wall and conquered it. You can too. But to your point, and what you teach is just a mindset. Like,
Yeah.
and not the fake mindset of you can be anything you want to be. No, you can't. Because
Yeah.
you can say that, but there got to be some action with that, right? So
Yeah.
that's the hardest part, is having kids realize that adversity is going to come, and how can I get through it? Because, like, I was there. One of my walls was I had asthma real bad. Like, I
Okay.
had asthma real bad where I wasn't supposed to play basketball. Like, I was not supposed to play basketball.
Oh wow.
What I had to do was work out harder so my lungs and my conditioning can handle the stress
Mm.
of playing basketball. So if you go back to anywhere from like 13 to like 21, everybody take, man, Teohn always in great shape. I had no choice, because if I wasn't in
Yeah.
shape, my hindrance is going to be my asthma. And I did not want asthma to be the reason why well, he got asthma. Take it easy on him. No, 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 don't.
Yeah.
So
No.
I had to do all the extra running, jumping rope, all that extra stuff just so I can stay playing.
Yeah.
So for me, I couldn't use, that was my adverse. I couldn't use asthma as a way to, like, I could have said, yeah, I got
Yeah.
asthma. Coach, can I sit out? Right. You know what I mean? But I went through that process, and I saw the light through the tunnel. Like, and that's what I try to preach to my kids. Like, there's a light. You got to find it. It ain't easy. You just got to find it.
Yeah.
Got to
Because
find
that's what comes to my mind, right? Is like finding a way. You know, like yeah, you're gonna face a roadblock. You're gonna face adversity. It's going to happen.
it. Right.
Uh, and at
Let me
that
in.
point, it's like you can either just sit back or it's like, well, what can I do?
Right. Right. Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
like you said, for you had asthma. It's like, yeah, I can just chill and like not work as hard, or I can train harder to like get my body sort of
Because
acclimated
I
to it.
wouldn't gonna let it stop me from doing something that I love. I love
Yeah.
sports in general. Like, I played baseball. That was my first love. Baseball was my first love.
Okay.
They didn't offer it in high school, so I had to quit. But I played baseball, I played football when I was little, basketball, obviously. Like, I played all sports. Like, if I had a choice, I would play baseball.
Okay.
But basketball became the one for me because I can do it by myself. The park was down the street from my grandmother's house. Like, it was easier and more access to it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Man, I think talking about like how I think you mentioned earlier how this kids these days are a little different in terms of like expecting to be handed to them. Kids don't be playing at the park like they used to, man. Like I think that was a big place where I grew, is like playing at the park with like grown-ups and
yeah,
double rims, you know, but like
yeah,
uh
absolutely.
I think that
I
was a
think
huge learning experience for me playing
no,
at the
that
park.
there that for I think for our generation, there wasn't a lot of, I'm gonna say, organized basketball. There was a lot more freedom. Right
Hmm.
now, because basketball or sports in general have become so monetized, everybody has a hand on something. Like, they got to
Yeah.
get trained, they got to work out with this guy, they got to do this. Everything is so organized that it's taking out the freedom part of being playing sports, because we learn through being discovery. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that dude's bigger than me. I can't just go through him like that. I got to do something different. Or I learned through losing, like sitting down, like waiting 5 games. Like, that doesn't happen, right?
Oh
Kids
yeah.
have 12 games in a weekend. They
Yeah.
lose the next one. Lose. There's no learning. There's no discovery. There's no creative. There's no freedom in playing, because it's so organized right now that kids don't have space. Like,
Yeah.
I, me and you, we understand the importance of it, but because money is like a big factor and finding the next phenom and who's going to be this, like, it makes it so hard for the kids.
Yeah.
And that's a missing piece, that they don't have the freedom. They don't go to the park. Like, they never understood, like, why that I have to play against older kids. Like, if I play against an older kid, I'm going to play my age group and I'm just going to dominate. But now kids want to play against younger kids so they can dominate. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Just the
I'd
opposite, you
rather
know?
be a holdback and play against younger kids, you're older and dominate and think that's progress or success but that's the way the climate of basketball is now. Like people rather play a younger team and win and then play up and struggle. Like they
Yeah.
don't play the long game. They play the short game. The short game
Yeah.
is so big right now, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate.
And I think that kind of ties back into I feel like those are the kids who are when they face adversity, they're more likely to make I don't want to say the wrong choice, but they're
Yeah.
less likely to see like, well, what other thing can I do? It's
Yep.
more like, oh, I guess I'm just not good enough anymore.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's a crazy cycle that's going on right now in basketball, but
Yeah.
I believe there's great people in the community that see it, that's, trying to do right by the kids because, at the end of the day, the kids are the one who lose, right?
Yeah.
And not adults. It's always the kids because they're the ones who playing and doing all the work and doing all these things. So I'm hopeful, things will get better, but it's crazy right now for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, at least we have people like you out there trying to make that change.
No,
You know,
absolutely,
need more
and
people like you.
that's why I try to put some light into a dark place. I
Yeah.
try to be that beacon or whatever it is. The kids can gravitate toward me, and I always stand by. I don't care who I work out with. If you're willing to work, I'll work with you. You don't have to be a 4-star, 5-star athlete. You can be 0-star. Don't even know what you're doing. I'm okay with that. But if you're
Yeah.
willing to and dedicate yourself to the craft, we'll be good. We'll have a good relationship. You know what I mean? So I've always been a big advocate. Like I said, I'm always about the underdog, bro. Like because underdogs really they make stuff work. They make it happen. And I'm an underdog myself. So
Yeah. Yeah. You worked with Bella Mauricio for a little bit, right?
say it again.
You worked with Bella Mauricio for a little bit, right? I think.
Oh yeah, Bella. Oh, Bella's good
Yeah.
people. Love Bella. Yeah.
Yeah. So, because she was the last person I interviewed, and because I've been working with her since 2017, I think. And so every time I watch her on TV, like they just finished up playing, like right before we got on here.
Yeah.
I was talking to her, and I was like, man, what would happen if you were like, 5'10"? Like what would happen? And she, no hesitation, was just like, I wouldn't have a chip on my shoulder then. And I don't know why I didn't. I did. It makes sense. I don't know why I didn't expect that answer, but it's so true. Like
Yes.
underdog. Well, if you give me an extra 8 inches of height, well, then I'm probably not going to have that chip anymore.
You're not gonna have it. Man, she's one of those people who understands like my height is not a disadvantage.
Yeah,
My mind is a disadvantage if I fail to use it properly. And she's the epitome of that. She's a worker, man.
yeah,
That girl's a worker. She's a worker.
yeah.
She's
Not once have I heard her complain about like her size or
oh no.
anything. You know.
Hell no. No. She's not. She's good people. She's very good
Yeah.
people.
So what do you, I know you kind of talked about it a little bit, but what do you do to try to train that mental side with the people you work with? I know you said like there are things that they need to work on, like helping them push through that wall. Like is there anything you specifically do or say to them to try to help them through that?
I mean, in my workouts, I tell them my job is to make you uncomfortable and to see you push through. If you
Yeah.
can't push through, it's okay. I'll show you how to. This is what you should be thinking. So a lot of my workouts are simple in theory. Let's say we're doing a shooting workout. I'll say make 3 in a row. It takes them a while to make 3 in a row. Then I say after they make 3 in a row, after they miss for so long, I say, what happened? Like I'll literally ask them, what happened? Why, or did you make the 3 in a row? And they said, I did this. I say, that's your key. That's how you get it.
Yeah.
Like all the other stuff that you was doing didn't work. But when you locked in or whatever went through your mind, you got it done. I say, if you can tap into that, that is you. Another example would be when they get tired. I say, this is what you got to do in this time. You can't do it. We got to keep doing it. We got to keep doing it. We got to keep doing it. And eventually they do it. And I'll just ask them a simple question. Did you get through it? Did you make it happen? Yes. So you are capable when you think you are not capable. You
Yeah.
just got to believe you are. Once you believe, I know it's cliche, you can achieve. No, seriously, it's life can be simple. Like basketball is simple, but it's played
Yeah.
by complicated people, right? When I say complicated, we got so much junk in our head,
Oh
so
yeah.
many distractions that we can't do the simple task. I say,
Yeah.
just focus on what you're doing and you'll be fine. We're working on shooting. Don't focus on, oh, my dribble, I got to do this. You're distracted. Focus on shooting and watch what happens. So it's a lot of distractions. I try to make sure that they are understand what we're doing or what we're trying to do. Because most times it's an understanding, it's a comprehension thing. Kids don't
Yeah.
comprehend. What are we trying to do? Oh, I got it, coach.
Oh, I could do that.
Yeah, exactly. But when you tie it into, okay, you got to go set a screen, you got to back cut, and then you got to do that. Now, because, okay, I'm not in shape. One, my basketball IQ is low. Two, and then my skill is not where it should be. Now you got three things working against you. So let's tackle one at a time, and then I'll put them together. My workouts are, like I said, they're simple, but whatever I do in the beginning, I build it up. Like we'll do micro skills, like we'll do ball handling, we'll do shooting, we'll do a layup drill, and then we'll put all three together. And then I'll put in a wrinkle and say, I gave you three finishing moves. Now do whatever you want to do, but it has to be those three finishing moves on my cue. And you'll see them struggle. I mean, they will struggle, which is the point of it. Like, this is a game, right? You're going to make mistakes, but let's do it again. And once they figure it out, they have these aha moments. And that's when I know that they understand, you know what I mean? So it's just building in constraints, what I call it, constraints in a workout, and just see them fail. I love to see my kids fail. And they be like, Coach, why are you excited about it? I'm like, because I know what's about to happen next. You can't fail the whole time. You can't, right? It's going to be impossible. I promise you. And once you pass that certain threshold, now we move to the next one. We'll make you fail again. Now we know. And it's like, why are you always making it hard? Because it gets easier only because you adapt. It's the same task. You just adapt. You just understand it more. You know what I mean? So
yeah. And I heard the women's coach at Duke talk about this. Like, it doesn't get easier; you just get better at handling hard.
It does.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's where the kids are lacking in in the basketball community. They don't get a chance to experience that. Somebody saves them. They have so many outs. Oh, let me do this for you. Don't worry about it. I got you. I'm gonna save you. You can't save them from what's inevitable. Like, you can't save them from failing. You can try, they're gonna fail. Like I told my kids, I say, I'd rather lose all the way up until I get in high school, my last few years of high school, and watch me become a winner. But most of the kids now, I just want to win. Winning teaches you less than when you lose. When you lose, you got to look at yourself. You got to say, bro, what happened? Okay, I'm not in shape. Okay, I got to run. Like, winning is false. And when I say false, I love winning. Trust me, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it helps you to be satisfied.
Yeah.
And it's very rare that winners are not satisfied. Like Kobe talked about it a lot. Like, yeah, I won. So what? Like, I still got to work. Like, the work is still going to be there. Like, losing does more than winning. A lot of kids, they don't want that losing feeling. I know it sucks, but if you play the long game, watch how much you know. So.
Yeah, losing and failure can definitely teach you a lot about not just like your skills, but also just like overall yourself, you know, how to handle the situations. And I've developed this belief recently that I'm starting to believe that I don't really believe in external competition anymore. Like, to me, that doesn't matter anymore. Your biggest competition is always going to be yourself. Even if someone on the court is talking smack to you, if you choose to believe it, then that's on you. That's not on them, you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, if you can win that internal battle, like, what can happen after that, you know? So I know we're running out of time here, but I wanted to ask you one last thing. So, you know, what is a word of advice you would give for like up and coming athletes trying to make it to the next level? Like, what is something you would tell them that you feel like they need to hear that maybe they haven't heard yet?
Most of it's been said, but I say you gotta have a level of work that's unmatched. One. Two, surround yourself with people who are truth tellers. And what I mean by truth tellers is that, yeah, you are good, but you can be better. Yeah, that's cool, but no, don't do that. You shouldn't. Like, there's a lot of star athletes right now, especially in the youth, in the AAU. being misled because they have a great talent. So of course, people are going to shower you with gifts. They're going to tell you everything that you want to hear until you're not good enough, until the
Yeah.
next person comes along. So you
Yeah.
got to be able to decipher between who you have in your circle. It's hard because there's a lot of snakes. There's a lot of ulterior motive people who are working behind the scenes to make things happen that that looks good in the beginning, but ultimately is only going to benefit them. So, man, your circle's got to be tight. Pick the right people, and I'm not saying that's easy because that's a hard task because you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you gotta. When somebody's telling you something you don't like, that's a clear sign. Hey,
Yeah.
bro, you're not, bro, you 10 pounds overweight. You need to get in shape. Your jumper is kind of like inconsistent. Like you're not working hard in school. Like those are the people that you want to gravitate toward instead of like run.
Yeah.
So work ethic got to be unmatched because everybody's going for the same thing. And now college got NIL deals. There are circles.
Yeah. We could have another show just based on that.
Exactly. So my point has been that there's a lot of money to be made. So that means there are more people with their hands reaching for it. So that means you got to have a work ethic that unmatched.
Yeah.
And like I say, too, you just got to have the right circle around you, man, because that's going to take you places or it's going to hold you back. And I've seen a lot of athletes fail, not because they're not good enough, it's because they got the wrong advice or information from somebody who's like, oh, you good. Don't worry about it. You got to show up to practice today. It's cool.
Yeah.
What? There's no way. Steph Curry shows up to practice.
Yeah, you'll be fine, man. Like, don't worry about it. It's like,
no, exactly. No, you need truth
here.
tellers around you. Definitely, you need honest people in the circle for sure.
Yeah, having that strong support system, of just people you can go to, but also like you said, people who are just going to tell you like it is. Like, I know I can have some people that'll gas me up, but like, what's really going to help me like learn and grow is like the people who are going to give it to me straight. Like, hey, that's nice, but like, that's not going to work down the road. It's like, oh,
yeah,
all right.
no, absolutely.
Yeah, well, look, man, I appreciate you hopping on with me, man. I was really looking forward to talking to you today. Pick your brain a little bit. You're just dropping fire, dude. I love it. I appreciate it.
Well, no, I appreciate the opportunity, man, because I love what I do. I love that what you're doing. You're helping kids, find it. Like it starts here, right?
Yep.
It always starts here. It always starts somewhere else. But if you got it here, nobody can stop you. You're untouchable, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Let's keep making an impact, man. We'll talk soon. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, T. I'll see you later.
Take care, man.
Yep.
There you have it, episode 3 in the books. Big shout out to Coach T for joining me here on a weekend for a little bit. You can find him on Instagram at @thebasketballtrainer, and then also check out his website, eatsportsfoundation.org. That's EATsportsfoundation.org, just to check out what he's doing in the community out there in the Bay Area. But yeah, I want to thank him again for staying on and dropping some knowledge. Like always, if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.